OC, we need you to talk to us, bro. Talk to us, OC. Talk to us.
Well, all I can tell you is this. The Cowboys get slapped around. The Cowboys get beat down.
Dang.
The Cowboys get embarrassed. All at home. All at home. This is a travesty. Y'all listen, man. There's silver liner in this, and we're going to get into it. But I'm going to tell you this, man, for real. Hey, man, this thing is all about consistency, all right? Consistency. And so what we see here and what we got to understand is that the Cowboys is going to have to exhibit more consistency, all right? So all I can do is tell you one thing. The Cowboys got a lot to learn. There is a lot to learn. And look, I think next week will be our turn, man. We go bounce back strong from this one. But this was a learning experience. And you have these things happen in the regular season, man, to where, hey, man, you get bounced down, you got to come back, and you got to bounce back. And I think the Cowboys will do that in the coming week. But this is interesting, and it's a lot to dissect. And it's a lot of things that actually need to get solved by the Cowboys. And we'll get into it.
Look, why do I feel so blue? Why do I feel so blue? Why do I feel so down? Why do I feel so blue? Why do I feel so blue? Why do I feel so blue? Why do I feel so down? Why do I feel so blue? Why do I feel so blue? I need a meal like you. I need some friends and some jewelry. I'm trying to get like you. Sign me a deal like you. Foreign my whip like you. Give me a. I'm trying to be lit like you. Flex on the ground like you. Show all my bands like you. I talk to my friends. I talk to my family. They don't understand like you. Follow the plan like you. I need some fans like you. Make them all stand like you. But I don't understand why I'm not like you. They say comparison is a thing for joy. But what I'm supposed to do, I'm unemployed. Been dropping songs, ain't been making noise. Trying to get like you and hope it fill a void. Look, don't nobody wanna be like me. No shawty, no team like me. Insecure, unemployed, no tour, no story, no breed, no peace like me. Close to living on the streets like me. Run away from your dream like me. Mama, dad, miss, I got you living with your granny. Ain't nobody unkeep like me. I mean unkept like me. Credit low ball and dead like me. Don't nobody call and check on me. I see y'all boy, y'all flex on me, but cats on all y'all necks on me. Why is all this stress on me? Why I see the less of me? Comparison, no recipe. They say comparison is a thing for joy.
Don't let it steal your joy, man.
What I'm supposed to do, I'm unemployed. Been dropping songs, ain't been making noise. Trying to get like you and hope it fill a void. Why do I feel so blue? Why do I feel so blue? Why do I feel so down? Why do I feel so blue? Why do I feel so blue? Why do I feel so blue? Why do I feel so down? Why do I feel so blue?
Yeah, OC. We'll go ahead and kick it off with you, big dog. You said there's some silver line and people want to hear what that is. For real.
Man, I'm going to kick it off with you, man. I got some noise. Oh, there it is. I got my noise off in the back, man. Sorry about that. I had a little issue here in the vehicle.
Okay.
But listen, man, the silver lining is this, man, is that this happened early in the season. So if you go get beat down early. A good beat down early is good for you. It humbles you. It lets you know that, man, we have not arrived in that, man, this is competition out here. These guys get paid millions of dollars as well. These organizations want to win too. Nobody is going to lay down and accept defeat because you're the Dallas Cowboys. You got to come out here and work hard. You got to come out here and earn it. You got to come out here and put the prep in every single day. And that's the thing that is the silver lining on this. But, man, as it relates to some things that need to really take place in the Cowboys team in terms of the dynamic, look, Mike Zimmerman said this months ago. We need defensive tackles. We need defensive tackles. We need defensive tackles. Look, man, the defensive tackles got whooped. They got whooped. They got whooped. All right. And so at the end of the day, man, this thing was about fits, physicality, and finish. And that's what happened versus the Cowboys. The Saints came out here. They ran zone. They ran toss, inside zone, mid zone, outside zone effectively. And what you saw from the Saints was just execution, just good old-fashioned execution. Good old fashioned getting a body on a body, being physical, and the running back either bouncing, bending, or banging that ball through the seams and the holes. And so Kamara did a fantastic job. 4 touchdowns, man. Made mincemeat of the Cowboys defense. Mincemeat. All right. And so, man, look, good job by them. But look, we got to come back and just be sharper. And we got to have the want to, the desire. And we got to have the prep. The best don't rest. You cannot rest. You cannot take off Sundays. When you take off Sundays and your prep is not good during the week, it shows up on Sunday. And that's what happened to the Cowboys, man. The prep was not good. They were not ready mentally and emotionally to play this game, and they got the brakes beat off of them, literally.
Yeah. And so, just going back to the sponsor of this game, this sponsored and stream is sponsored by BetUS, where you can receive 125% bonus on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000. So, getting back into feeling blue. Obviously, we want to hear from the panel as well. So, Coach Marv, like, what's the way forward?
Hey, I would, just to echo what OC said. This is a learning thing here. This is of learning how you got to grind to win in this NFL. There is a very the talent difference between the best team and the worst team in the field is very small. That's why they say every given Sunday. There is no team in the NFL that is devoid of talent where they don't have any talent. Now, they may get disinterested and then their talent and they may have injuries and that may make them start to give up when the middle of the season comes, or they just give up as a team. But right now, we got to learn how to grind. Nobody knows who's the best contenders right now. But this team needs to learn how to grind, and this is a good lesson of learning how to grind. We just got to be able to be. We got to be ready for these type of battles. They just ran the ball when they said we know y'all know we gonna run the ball. Y'all can put somebody in the box, but we're just gonna run the ball, and everybody's gonna get a hat on the hat, and we're gonna block you, and then we're gonna break a couple tackles and run the ball. We don't have that toughness. We can only do things when we trying to trick people. And we finding out that that's not going to happen. So it's a good thing, but it goes back, boss, what I have been saying this whole summer. And I know you've heard me say this. I said it on Twitter. Until we earn the right to be considered being champions, we're not going to be there. And the way you earn the right is being a grinder. Do we have the lunch pail mentality to grind our way to make ourselves better? And we've been shocked this week. I don't think we still, OC, to your credit, I don't think we got the lesson yet. And we may get another dose of the lesson next week. But when we get the lesson, and if we got the right mentality to turn around and to say we're going to be the underdogs all year and we're going to grind, I think we got the time to get there. But we can't get there if we don't grind.
So, it's in the books, and how the saying goes, the Saints definitely went marching in. And the story of the game is how they marched on our defense for almost 200 yards rushing, 190 to be exact. You knew who the weapons were coming into this game. It wasn't a secret. It wasn't like somebody unexpected was able to be effective and be a playmaker in this game. You knew Carr wasn't going to do too much. I mean, the man only threw 16 total passes, y'all. That's like 4 passes a quarter. Kamara is who we had to worry about. Shaheed is who we had to worry about. And they led their team in rushing and receiving respectively. Shaheed only had 4 receptions and hit us for 96 yards. So going forward, to everybody's point, yes, it did happen early in the season. But this is something that you're going to have to get a handle on, because it does not get any easier, because you have teams whose primary threat is the run game, and it can hurt you. And it doesn't get any easier starting next week with a team who has shown a true commitment to the run game in the Baltimore Ravens. So I'm going to need Mike Zimmer and all of his wisdom, grace, and experience to tap into his wheelhouse to figure out how to stop the goddamn off-tackle runs.
Yeah.
Man, I'm gonna say something real quick, man. And I think that I was looking at this and I was thinking strategically about what can you do to stop this? What can you do to remedy the situation when they got 8 or 7 blockers in a box and they get a body on a body, and you got a running back with a decent amount of skill? It's very difficult. It's not a lot you're gonna be able to do. What the Cowboys can do, and I think this is what we'll probably see from Mike Zimmer, is we'll see systematic run blitzes. You got to do some run blitzes in this, because right now versus really good blocking teams, I don't think right now we got the personnel inside in terms of tackles to hold up. I mean, our defensive linemen, man, they're getting double teamed and pushed back. And if you can't set really hard in that A gap between the center and the guard and not give up movement, man, they're going to get up on the second level on those combo blocks, man. And that's when you're going to run into problems. And it happened consistently all day long. And look, we got, some young rookie bucks out there. But look, man, we need, it's unfortunate. Let me say this in fairness to the rookies. Like our rookie defensive end, we need you to play better, bud. You can't get pancaked. We need you to play better. So anyway.
So, OC, a lot of people had a problem with this when I said, are the Saints a trap game? And we talked about it, and it was, when I said it was a trap, it never was about where we are in the season. It was more so about the fact that it was a young team, 1. 2, I watched the Saints play game 1 and I saw the physicality. And I wasn't just certain that we was going to match it. So from that's where I smelled the trap. And number 3, we don't handle success well. We was having, Tyler Guyton held up good against Myles Garrett, and we beat and blew out the Browns on an ugly game. So here we go, confident. And it's those games that make me nervous. Was it a trap, bro?
It was a trap and it was a beatdown. That's what it was. Because listen, guys, I just said it was a trap and it was a beatdown. I mean, what if they and I'm saying this in context because I don't want any women watching the show to get offended. There was the old movie with the Keenan Ivory Wayans and them, and he was joking around. He was like, "Well, just slap me around and call me Susan." And a dude just started slapping him and said, "Okay, Susan." That's what happened to the Cowboys, man. They got slapped around. And look, remember this coach. The coach, this is the same type of zone run offense from the San Francisco 49ers, okay? It's very, very physical. It's very, very crisp, right? This is the exact same run concept from the 49ers. This coach from the 49ers. So listen, man, anytime we face physical teams, anytime we face a team that's committed to being nasty, we struggle. And that's my only thing.
That's why I called it a trap. I said I said this team is gonna commit to being physical, or we gonna be corporate and soft and a female dog, or was we gonna respond? Man, do we have enough gangsters, OC? Do we have enough gangsters?
Right now, we don't have enough gangsters. And I'm going to tell you the truth, man. The Cowboys are a little too soft to win against physical teams. That's why I'm really scared about this next game, too. The Cowboys are a little soft. They are. They're just a little soft. And it's I think it's a culture thing, because it was a time, and I always go back to this, when we had mean dudes in the building. I'm sorry, you don't need criminals. You don't need dudes breaking the law. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying you need some mean dudes. You gotta have some mean dudes, like Boss Cowboy in college. We played with some mean dudes. We played with some dudes that like to hit you. We played with dudes that was perfectly fine and celebrated if they hurt you. We played with some mean dudes. The issue is football is a tough physical game. And if y'all are all nice and marketing geniuses and not just mean, nasty dudes. You're going to get beat by dirty, gritty, physical teams. And that's what happened today.
Coach Marv, do we need a number
Yeah,
two?
What number two? Another two ass cutting?
No, number 2 weapon.
No, I don't think we need another. I want to piggyback what y'all talking about being mean. We can't. I said this in the telecast. We cannot expect our defense to be mean and nasty if they practice against a finesse offense every day. That's what they practice against. We got a finesse offense, and then you're asking your defense to be a physical defense. But that's what they practice against. So when they get into teams that are committed to being just grinding it out, if you stop the run one play, it's plays that we stop the first run, we stop at like 2 yards. Or we might stop 2 runs at 2 yards. But a committed team said we're going to continue to run it, and then the next run we're going to get 8, 9. We're not going to just back off because you stop one run. And this is how our offense is. This is why we have the same problem on offense when we play against physical defenses. They give us problems because they make us one-dimensional, because they knock us back, because we're trying to do everything finesse. And you got a finesse coach. So you're going to be a finesse team. So we got to find a way, because your mentality, your DNA is finesse. So he going to have a DNA with a finesse team. And we want to talk about winning the Super Bowl. That was the problem with Green Bay. Every time they played against physical teams like Seattle or teams that were physical, they lost.
So, Coach, that's why, and I'm going to ask you, A.M.P.
How we change it? Let me give you a boss. We say we're going to do solution. How we change it?
Yes.
It's hard to change it now because your training camp is over. But you're now at the point now where you can preach this, and you can try to devise this, and you can try to get in the head of your players about being physical, and you can continue to preach it and preach it and preach it. You may not, because with the collective bargaining agreement, there ain't much you can do now because you only got about 11 padded practices. But whatever you have physically you can do in practice, you got to do that wide open. You can't take no days off. And then you got to keep preaching it and making an emphasis about physicality and getting beat up physically. And then your players may respond. But, sometimes the head is already in the bar. But you can try to correct it if they got it in them. But, again, that's what we got to do, get the grind in. And OC was right about being teams that's grinding on us.
A.M.P., I do think we, not right now, but I do think that this game did expose to where an elite number 2 or really good number 2 could help us. Because in a game like this, where we really needed a shootout, we needed an offense that could keep up with them, we just didn't have it. To me, it did kind of look like we was lacking, even though I would say overall the offense wasn't bad. I want to get your thoughts on that too, OC. But starting with you, A.M.P. What you got on that, A.M.P.? I see you showing your screen.
So yeah, talking about what we don't have, I can tell you what we do have, and that's $26 million in cap space, 6th in the NFL. So the resources are definitely there. You can bring an experienced guy in that can provide you some change to this team. It's there. It's right there. Right there. It's available. So I need Jerry Jones to dig down in his purse and do what he needs to do. Like it, because everybody admitted the fact that the dogs are not present on this team. And it's got to happen one way or other. Either Zim fixes some things on his defense, or if he's incapable of doing that with what he has, you got to bring somebody in because, as I said, it's not going to get easier. Your schedule is built to where you have to play a lot of physically talented, grindy teams who are committed to distributing punishment, and we weren't ready for it today.
Man, I gotta get to this super chat, man. These super chats is fire too. Then I gotta go to UOC real quick. My boy Bishop Bird say, take the most ferocious lion out the jungle and put him in a zoo. Feed him 4 times a day. Ooh, that'll take the hunter out of him. It's the corporate Cowboys. I swear to God, that's what I was fearing, B Bird. That's what was the whole time giving me bad juju vibes. And I told landlord that. Me and landlord kept talking, and I said, bro, it's the corporateness in us that bothers me when the gangster team play us. That's what bothers me, and I couldn't shake it. And I told him straight up, I could not shake it. That boy say boss was drinking the Kool-Aid. That boys be lying on me. Why y'all lie on me, man? Why y'all just lie on me, bro? Like, I do whole shows and like when everybody else saying, no, boss, calm down. It's not a trap, boss.
This
Come on, boss.
Definitely not the channel for Kool-Aid.
Oh, bro, like, I don't. All right, I guess I was, if you say so. Let me get to these next super chats. So, see, I got you, man. Let me just catch up to these.
Don't worry.
Okay. All right, so Lou with the super chat. He said, our edges and run fits are weak. We need to stop keeping Micah at edge. I need some weight and speed on them run fits. Yeah, I also felt like our corners wasn't coming up to actually support as well. Like a lot of people talk about the edges being just the defensive end. The edges is also your final containment, and your ultimate containment is your corners. And there's too many times the last bounce was that corner where they was able to get around. It was the last bounce, and you got to be able to. I know that from playing the position. I put it like this: I never, ever, ever had a running back not turn it up if I was in there. You won't get that edge on me,
boss. Hold up.
And your mic was missing.
Clap for you. Put the clap for you, boss. Put the clap for you. Give yourself a hand, boss.
For me.
Yeah.
All right.
What you just did. Give yourself a hand.
Go ahead and elaborate, because I know you finna cook.
Thank you. Because listen, when film will show you, because I went back, I was looking at this. When we watch film, we gonna find out that even when the defensive lineman did stand strong, the linebacker filled in the hole. We had defensive backs, safeties, and corners dragging to come up like they didn't want to get into that fight.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Waiting.
Got spoiled last week.
Yep.
We got people waiting, and they were waiting and taking on block, catching blocks, thinking, hey, well, you get them. And one thing you got to find out about the run. The run game is stopped not by this defensive lineman, not by linebackers, not by safeties, not by cornerbacks. If you're going to be a good run stopper team, every coach has told you it takes all of us to stop the run.
Mm-hmm.
Every last one of them got to be dedicated to stop the run. And when you got a chance to go in your gap and that guy gets your gap, you can't be hesitant. You can't be waiting, because somebody's pushing it towards you, and you got to come and fill it. And if you don't come and fill it, when you got a chance, you wait, and the guy get ahead of steam or you miss a tackle, it makes us all look bad. So this is a mentality type thing, and we have first. And one thing about y'all think about that San Francisco running attack. This reminds me of the 49ers because their receivers were blocking our guys. Their tight ends were getting great blocks on us. They didn't just kill us with the linemen. Their receivers and their tight ends beat our defensive backs and our linebackers sometimes physically. And that's the measure when you say with a physical team. I don't measure a physical team by the linemen. I measure a physical team by how physical their safety, their strong safety, their quarterback, their little people are. If they're little people out there knocking people out, they're a physical football team.
Man, OC, I need you right now, bro.
Look, man. I mean, this reminds me of. Are you talking about the comment, or are you just talking about related to
Nah,
what
I
we're
was
talking
finna
about?
ask you a question.
All right, talk to me.
Is Zimmer a senior citizen? I got two questions. No, I got two questions too.
That's cold blooded, man.
No,
You cold
no.
blooded, man.
No,
Boy,
I'm
you a
asking
senior
what's gonna
citizen.
be said after. I'm saying that they said it in the chat. I'm saying that,
Yeah, you're right.
yeah, they gonna be asking this question, so we might as well start answering it now. Just keeping it real, bro.
Ma-
But real quick,
okay.
also, did Zimmer appear unsullied? Did he see himself? Did they corporatize him? Where was the drop that Law always played where you see the fire on the sideline when that defense broke a record today in allowing 35 points and a half? And I didn't see that Zimmer that was advertised to us, OC. What is going on?
Well, let me answer the second question first. All right. You know he got unsullied because he got the job.
I knew it.
Okay. Like you know that happened. You know, this getting unsullied is a rite of passage if you have any job for the Cowboys that is significant. Okay, so let's get that one off the table. Okay, and you know that they said, well, you know, it's our culture. We want you to be mild mannered. We don't want you to be explosive.
You
On
want
the
answers?
sidelines. You know, we have a lot of corporate sponsors. You know, we have a lot of TV money, a lot of national television games, a lot of eyeballs. The whole world is watching us.
You want
and
answers?
We want to represent the brand well. You know, it was something like that. Like, that was kind of like the conversation, right? Now, this is what I'll say about the senior citizen comment. Look, man, Mike Zimmer is older, but Mike Zimmer is not too old to get this job done if you take the restraints off of the animal. And you got to let him attack when it's time to attack. And that's the problem when you got suits trying to be football guys and they pretend like they're football guys and they're not football guys, they're suits. That's the issue. You got to let football guys be football guys and make You got to look, make your corporate business decisions as you make them. But the issue is that people get ego and we have a lot of pride, and so what happens is people is that, and this is the human race. You have success in one area and you think foolishly that you will have success in all areas. You have knowledge in one area and then you think that makes you have knowledge in a lot of other areas, and it does not. And I think that's always been the conundrum of the Cowboys and what we call meddling on this channel. Meddling, okay? And so at the end of the day, Mike Zimmer got to turn up the heat. And I mean turn up the heat in terms of practice intensity. You also have to turn up the heat in terms of being able to strategically blitz and attack, because that gives your defense an edge. That gives them the taste of blood. That's what you want. You want blood in the water. You want that defense to get some taste of blood, some taste of aggression. And if they get that,
it's contagious.
Dang.
most men, your team is going to play neutered.
Neutered.
That's it.
Hold on real quick, man. Give me a second. Give me 1 second. I'm doing something real quick before you go.
What's up, boss?
Hey, what's up, Stars? So you done dropped $20, so that made me call you directly. You understand? $20 get you some special favors. You know what I mean? So I don't want to just try to communicate this via the super chat. I want you to kind of make your own point so we could all hear you out and address it. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So what I was saying was, because it's always, it really is Coach Marv. I love you, but Coach can't stand Mike McCarthy because he thinks he's soft and he's a beta. But anyway, with Big Mike, I do not think that Mike McCarthy is a problem, and I do not think Mike McCarthy is soft. I think that this was another game, and I'll have to admit I underestimated the Saints. But when I'm listening to Brady talk about the Saints, he said this defense is a very difficult defense to go against. We know he went against them twice every year when he was with the Bucks. He was like, you can't really run on this defense that well, and you have to be able to basically have your defense keep pace and stay in the game because this is a defense. They're gonna do these confusing fronts. They're gonna do blitzes. They're gonna do uh too high shell and all of this type of stuff that's gonna prevent your offense. And we needed to be able to run the damn ball to stay in the game, but we couldn't do that because you have your defense giving up. That they did not punt till what was it, the end of the fourth quarter? So when you have that type of situation, you can't run the ball. Like everybody say, "Oh, Mike, Mike was trying to." I commended Dak and Mike because what they did not do, what they did versus Green Bay is when they saw the defense give up 7 points as quickly as they did, they started pressing. And I appreciate Mike and Dak for not pressing and doing their best to stay within the game plan up until the score was like they already had 41 points, and then Dak just threw that pick to CeeDee Lamb just trying to make a play. But other than that, I think they did what they had to do, but your defense did not step up. And I think with all of these games this in the front half of our schedule, we're going to have to play the exact same way. We're going to have to play balanced football. The scores are going to have to be low. So if the defense goes in there next week and the week after, and they're going to continue to give up 38, 40 points, then yes, we're going to be screwed because at that point, there's nothing your quarterback can do but just continue to be one dimensional. And when you're one dimensional, you're going to make mistakes. So that was my whole point on what I had tweeted out. I don't think that we lost because of the offense or the offense is soft and the defense. To me, I don't know what pinpoint the exact issue was. I know some OC said the D tackles. Shout out to DA Lee, who also said it was the D tackles. To me, I saw the D tackles holding up, and then when it was a linebackers play, like Eric Kendricks today, he played awful.
He didn't play a good game
Trash.
today to me either. Yeah.
Damone Clark played. Yeah, Damone Clark played not well as either, and then we had Overshown on the bench almost the whole game. So I don't know what the hell that was about. But yeah, we definitely, I definitely think for next week we need to elevate Carl Lawson because I think he can help us do something to contain the edge because we were getting destroyed, and I think we need to go ahead and elevate Dalvin Cook as well to see if we could get a spark because I'm the president of the Deuce fan club, but the running game was just not good today. And Deuce had Mike gave him a couple of shots. He did give him a couple of shots. So, but yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say on that, boss.
No, appreciate it, Star, and your insight and your work. Let everybody know they can find Star.
Yeah, y'all can just find me on YouTube at Stargazer Sports. And then I'm on Twitter a lot at the Stargazer. But instead of an E in Gazer, it's a 3, and then it's 2 R's at the end.
All right. Love you, Star. Take it easy.
Love you too, boss. Okay.
Respond, Coach. I know you got some.
Oh, yeah. I mean, again, I'm going to say this again, and I really mean this. I don't need an offensive coordinator. I need a head football coach. And when you got a team that we're looking at as two sets, offense, and then we got somebody run the defense, and there is no one that's in charge of the whole thing, then you really gonna have that. Really doesn't usually work. I've seen it work one time, and that was in 1985, the Chicago Bears. Other than that hadn't worked. So again, when your team comes out flat, this is a mentality of that, and I will say it again. We talk about running the ball, and it's about being consistent in the run game. It's about being committed to it. I think sometimes we give a guy a couple of runs, we say he's supposed to get 10, 15 yards. But just like I said about with New Orleans, there's some running plays that they didn't get yards, but they continue to keep on because they said those 2 yards gonna turn into 5 or 6. But they could do that because they had the lead of the game and they was controlling the football game. But I will say this, man. we can change things. But I would say that our team doesn't handle physical teams well.
Nope.
And I'm gonna say this next week, and I hate to say it this early in the season, but next week is gonna tell you, it's gonna give you one of the biggest judges about how far we're gonna go as a team.
Yep.
Because we're gonna get a
Back
which
against the
I know
wall.
is a physical team that's coming here 0-2 because they lost to the Raiders today.
Yep.
They gonna come in here 0-2. They gonna come in here smelling blood. They gonna come in here saying they got to get their season together. They're gonna come in here desperate, and they're gonna come in here to go at you wide open. And if you don't get ready for that and be able to take that challenge, then we need to start panicking. Because it's going to be a challenge. This is going to be a challenge because they're not going to come in here backing down. They're coming in here to save their season because they can't afford to go 0-3. And we're going to be coming off a loss where we should be upset. They're going to bring a physical game. And if we can match that and do well against that and dominate that game and put them in a 0-3 category, then we can roll the rest of the season. We'll be able to get. But this is the type of game that's really going to test the manhood. So I love it. I love it because this is what we need. We need these type of challenges. And let's see. I understand what Star's saying about Mike. But I don't follow Mike for a long time because, like I've said again, my best friend for 50 years is a Green Bay fan. And we have argued about Mike McCarthy, and I'll be on the other side of arguing about Mike McCarthy, how he doesn't want to deal with physical people. And my friend is still telling me, he said, Marv, you think he's going to change now because he's with the Cowboys? And I ain't seen no.
Yeah, he got to change it. They got to change it. When they play a physical team, they got to show up different or your friend going to be right.
He better smack the watermelon. Watermelon season about over with, but he better find some. He better smack a lot of watermelons this week because it's going to be this is going to test this is where you're going to get tested as a football player.
Yeah, we
they
know
coming
that test
in here.
coming, Coach. Yeah, we already know. That 0-2 let everybody know that that's definitely coming. The fact that they backs against the wall. OC, how we dig out of this?
Man, I think that what the Cowboys have to do, man, you got to go, just have a heart-to-heart in terms of, like, the type of football that your team wants to play. Because every team has an identity, right? And every team has strengths and weaknesses. And so you got to just have a conversation with these men and help them to understand that, man, look, we're going to have to be committed to fighting the fighter. You know, box to boxer, fighter fighter. You know, that's old adage, man. And the tempo of practice and your prep has to intensify. You're not too late in the season to where you cannot go full pass and make these practices a little bit tougher. I know that you only have so many hitting days and all that kind of stuff, but I'm saying you're early in the season. You can make these practices a little bit tougher. You can make them fast paced. You can stop all the lollygagging and set the tempo of intensity, and hopefully that carries over into the game. You're gonna have to do something creative to try to contain Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is coming to run all over the Cowboys next week. Don't make no mistake about it. You heard it here first. He is coming to act a fool, okay? And if you do not have contained, and to your point earlier, Boss Cowboy, tackling with these corners and these safeties, Lamar Jackson is going to act a fool, okay? And these boys are coming off the ball, man. They're going to be nasty and aggressive, and we're going to have to be physical, man. I do think a good change of pace would be to bring up Cooks. I know he's a little bit long in the tooth right now, but we need a spark out of the backfield. Zeke is doing what he can, I think, but he's not it all by himself. So we're going to need some help there, Boss Cowboy, and we're going to need Dak to play lights out. And not that he played horrible. I'm not going to say he played horrible today, but I'm saying we're going to need Dak to pick it up and lead on another level to help us win a tough game that I think right now is a must-win for us. It's a must-win for us to keep us on the right track and so that we don't lose too much momentum early in the season.
All right, man. I'm finna go ahead and give our final words real quick. I'll kick it off and then we'll finish with you, OC. With a game like this, I don't believe in just kind of sacrificial lambs and statements, but changes need to be made. Some changes need to be
Mm-hmm.
made. One of the changes I think we need to make is we need to start giving some of these guys a little bit more run. You gotta let it be known. Like one of my favorite shows is Bar Rescue. Okay. With John and Taffa, and I just love the leadership wisdom that comes out of him. But he was just talking about when you trying to reshape a culture. He said if you trying to reshape a culture, he said everything that I do when I'm trying to turn around a bar is the first thing is I do is I fire the weakest link. That's the first thing that I do to shake everybody up. Honestly, we need something like that. We need to let it be known that what just happened, allowing a record to be broken on our defense is unacceptable. You can't get beat deep on cover two where two safeties are responsible for the deep pass. You can't come up and not make tackles at corner. You can't. That will not be tolerated, and somebody is going to sit down for this. It's part of it. We are grown men, and you got to make plays to be on this defense. That's one of the main things I would definitely say that has to happen. I'm also going to be keeping my eye on Zimmer. I did not like the fact that for the most part, every time I saw the cameras on him, I did not see what we were sold. I did not see the energy. I did not see the fire. I did not see the turning over tables guy that was as advertised. And if they took your nuts, you need to put your nuts back on. Because if you're trying to stay in the league, you will not stay in the league as long as you're doing it the Joneses way. You got to do it your way. You have to do it your way. You go lose this defense if you do not get in somebody behind. Period. Somebody need to get slapped for what just happened. One of the silver liners that I say before is I was happy to see Schoon catch all his passes. See, we've all beat up on Schoon. We've all beat him up, and he deserved it. Why? He was dropping. He wasn't dependable. He was also missing blocks on occasion. But if I'm judging this fairly, and I've been saying I want to see who go step up at tight end too in the absence of Ferguson, it was nothing that he was asked to do that was hard, but when his name was called, he did his job. So I'm not going to beat up on you and not recognize that when you was called, you also showed up. So Schoon, build on it. Get your name right. Get your name back. Shut everybody up who called you a bust. That's my final words.
Man, you know something, man, boss, and Cowboy Nation, we just in week 2. Every week you're gonna go up and down. Things are gonna be up and down. I agree with OC says about next week being a must win. But I want y'all to be very, I said something else about finding imposters. We got to find the imposters. Maybe some guys that we give credit to that's on this team that we think are really good players, up and coming players, or might be great players or might be very good players, but may not be some guys that have the right mentality to win. So this is what Boss is saying about you're gonna have to find the imposters, right? And sometimes Zimmer and McCarthy and everybody else, you're gonna have to make changes. And sometimes the Cowboy Nation may get upset, like, "Oh man, what are you doing this?" But you gotta take on your experience of saying, "I'm around this guy. I know what it takes, and I know what they're not giving us." And this team needs to get that reality check now. I am so excited about this coming week, fellas, because this is be the first time that I'm saying a while that this is going to be a playoff type game. This is a Super Bowl type football game because you got a great team with their backs against the wall that got something that we don't deal with well, and now we got to show and bow our backs and be men. Only thing I'm asking Mike McCarthy and this football team to say, hey, let's have a heart-to-heart talk and say, do we want to be champions? And are we going to sacrifice what we need to sacrifice to be there? Because with no championship run, there's not no sacrifice. And that means the ownership has to sacrifice some of their meddling as well. They got to sacrifice. The coaching staff got to sacrifice. The players got to sacrifice. Hell, even us as fans got to sacrifice. Without no sacrifice, there is no great outcome. And are they willing to give the sacrifice to do what we need to do? And this week, we ain't got to be boss. This ain't no trap game this week, boss.
No,
OC.
this ain't no trap.
It ain't no game. Ain't nobody.
This ain't no trap. You either
might be here
this
Thursday.
game gonna expose
They
if
might
you,
put through. So
this is an exposing
that's
game.
my final word, boss.
All right.
So, next week you have the Baltimore Ravens. And I hate the fact that it's this early on in the season and I'm about to say this, but next week is a make or break game. I think you will learn a lot about your team from next week to see how they bounce back.
Yep.
But this game told us a lot. It was very telling. A lot of stuff that we had questions about in the offseason, in training camp, it came to the light. Because last week against Cleveland, I felt they really let us off the hook, if you will, by not pressing the run. They didn't press it early when the game was within reach, and then when it got out of reach, they obviously had to abandon it. I think Ford would have been serviceable enough to provide or give us some problems, but it never got to that point. Another point, something that I did not like what I saw this game. We like Micah Parsons because of his ability to rush the passer. I saw him bounce from left end to right end all game. But my question is, with a end who has shown that he is reluctant to be able to effectively set the edge, and the fact that majority of the game we were not in obvious passing situations, why in the hell did he stay at DN is my question. Your offense has to get better. Your defense has to get better. And Mike has to get better. Pick whichever one, both apply. Just a very unclean performance. We were harping on the fact all preseason throughout the games that, man, your second string defense looks so disciplined. Can't wait to see what first team defense looked like. Where was that discipline at today? So whatever it is that y'all lost between the preseason and the day, I need y'all to find it. But hey, next week is another opportunity to get better. And as I say, good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good becomes your better and your better becomes your best. Until next time, Cowboys Nation, y'all be blessed.
Man, that's a good outro, boy. That boy be putting in work. Before we get to final words, this post-game recap was brought to you by BetUS, where you'll receive 125% bonus on your first three deposits up to $2,000. I really thank the panel, man. Y'all always do a great job, Coach Marv, obviously A.M.P, and obviously UOC. Excited to hear you close us out.
Yeah, man. At the end of the day, man, the Cowboys have to decide: are you gonna be men or are you gonna be mice? You know what I mean? This is a character game for the Cowboys. This is gonna be a game to show the heartbeat of this team. And really, this is a great ceiling to test how far the Cowboys can go, even early on. I think offensively, Mike McCarthy is going to have to figure out how to get this offense out of ruts, because that's what's even happened in the first game. We kind of get into, and I wanted to wait before I said this, by the way. So I didn't say this last week, but I wanted to wait. And so now, twice. I've seen it twice. The offense can get in ruts. They can get in lulls, right? They cannot finish off drives, right? They go over the 50, then all of a sudden they hit a rut, right? They may get close, then all of a sudden they hit a rut. Mike McCarthy is going to have to develop 10 to 15 go-to plays outside of throwing the ball to CeeDee Lamb, by the way. Outside of that, you're going to have to develop some more plays and strategies to get your team out of offensive ruts when your team stalls, when the offense goes stagnant. McCarthy hadn't done a really good job of that the first 2 weeks, in my opinion, even though we beat up on the Cleveland Browns. You're going to have to do that versus a very tough and what's going to become a very stingy defense in the Baltimore Ravens and be very effective there. Mike Zimmerman is going to have to become relentless, okay? He's going to have to be committed. When he was back with the Minnesota Vikings, you would see him on the sidelines, to your point early, Boss Cowboy, ratting and raving, turning red as a beet, acting bananas because he hated when teams ran for first downs. He hated it. If you look back in his career, he was big and committed on stopping the run and affecting the quarterback. You got to find that and go back to it. But this defense has to support you. Into front office, open up your hearts, open up your wallet, and add a couple pieces in here that can help this defense, because what we have is not a championship defense. Up front is not good enough for us to win against the elite teams in the NFL. And if you don't fix it now, we will suffer later, man. So those are my final thoughts, man. Go Cowboys.
Why do I feel so blue? Why do I feel so blue? Why do I feel so down? Why do I feel so blue? Why do I feel so blue? Why do I feel so blue? Why do I feel so down? Why do I feel so blue? Why do I feel so blue? I need a meal like you. I need some friends and some jewelry. I'm trying to get like you. Sign me a deal like you. Foreign my whip like you. Give me a. I'm trying to be lit like you. Flex on the ground like you. Show all my bands like you. I talk to my friends, I talk to my family, they don't understand like you. Follow the plan like you. I need some fans like you. Make them all stand like you, but I don't understand why I'm not like you.
They say comparison is a thief of joy, but what I'm supposed to do, I'm unemployed. Been dropping songs, ain't been making noise. Trying to get like you and hope it fill a void.
Look, don't nobody wanna be like me. No shawty, no team like me. Insecure, unemployed, no tour, no story, no breed, no peace like me. Close to living on the streets like me. Run away from your dream like me. Mama, dad, miss, I got you living with your granny. Ain't nobody unkeep like me. I mean unkept like me. Credit low ballin' dead like me. Don't nobody call and check on me. I see y'all ball, y'all flex on me, but cats on all y'all necks on me. Why is all this stress on me? Why I see the less of me? Comparison, no recipe.
They say comparison is a thief of joy, but what I'm supposed to do, I'm unemployed. Been dropping songs, ain't been making noise. Trying to get like you and hope it